Welcome to another episode of Retrobacks, where I take a look at some classic games often considered retro, or at least one or two console generations older than the present one, and assess if it's still good enough to play in this day and age, and if it's worth the experience gained in your gaming journey. Disclaimer here, all views and opinions expressed in this video are my own, and the rating scale of 1 to 10 is how I rate it and not some other publications where to them a 7 is already a
Amen.
well, to me that will be a 5, and anything below that is pretty much garbage in a waste of your playing time. Alright, in this episode we take a look at the 1994 SNES classic Donkey Kong Country. Of course, we'll start with the backstory since I judge a game based on both its story and gameplay, like a fusion of Miyamoto's and Koizumi's philosophies. Donkey Kong
Country
is a reboot of the Donkey Kong franchise set along after the events of Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr., both the games I'm referring to. The original Donkey Kong grew old, moved to Donkey Kong Island, and takes on the moniker Cranky Kong, passing the Donkey Kong mantle down to his grandson, the present-day Donkey Kong with the red tie, which was later retconned to be the original Donkey Kong Jr., and Cranky was now his father and not his grandpappy. One night, the Kremlings, led by King K. Rool, invaded Donkey Kong Island and stole the Kong toward the bananas under the cover of night while it was raining. What these carnivorous crocodiles want with bananas was never explained, but hey, the developers need a plot no matter how stupid it is. Donkey Kong's sidekick Diddy was in charge of protecting the horde that night, and he did horrible at his first night on the job. You might even say he was spanked by the reptiles. You just don't give a monkey the job of a gorilla. Donkey Kong and Diddy sets out on a journey of 40 side-scrolling platforming levels where the player collects items, defeats enemies and bosses, and finds secrets on their mission to reclaim the Banana Horde and defeat the Kremlings. In the multiplayer modes, two players can work together cooperatively or race each other. The graphics were a hit back in 1994, as this was one of the first home console games to feature pre-rendered graphics, achieved through a compression technique that allowed Rare to convert 3D models into SNES sprites without losing much detail. Of course, now these pre-rendered 3D graphics looks dated, but back then kids like me went bananas when this game came out since we were yet to be spoiled by the following generation's 3D graphics. In fact, Donkey Kong Country was key in maintaining the SNES's popularity when players were beginning to move to more advanced consoles such as the Sony's PlayStation, and for us Sega kids, another reason to regret our decision of not getting a Nintendo instead. The music composed by David Wise was top-notch. This was the first time I encountered a non-Japanese composer for a first-party Nintendo game. Prior to composing, Wise was shown the graphics and given an opportunity to play the level they would appear in, which gave him a sense of the music he would compose. Wise then chose samples and optimized the music to work on the SNES, and man, was it a masterpiece. Now let's get into the gameplay. Is it fun to play? Short answer, heck yes. Coming to this playthrough, I wasn't expecting much from this game, as platformers outside of Mario and Sonic usually disappoint me. Well, maybe because those two flagship franchises set the bar so high. But I was pleasantly surprised by this game. The controls are pretty tight, though I really did not appreciate the wily coyote effect that Donkey and Diddy possess when extending their jumps over the end of platforms. I mean, it makes as much sense as fighters doing double jumps out of thin air in Smash Brothers, you know? But hey, we're playing these games not for their realistic physics, am I right? I thoroughly enjoyed the first half of this game, and the only thing that diminished my sense of fun is the repetitiveness of stages. You will see level designs recycled throughout this adventure. All water levels look the same. Jungle levels only differ if it's raining. And man oh man, there are too many mine levels that I got sick of it and stopped playing this game for several weeks before I came back to finish it. And because of that, I can't put this game in the league of Mario and Sonic, even though this was critically acclaimed and won numerous Game of the Year accolades. Truth be told, I was actually planning to play the sequels and Donkey Kong 64, or at the very least, just Diddy Kong's Quest. But after finishing this, I no longer felt I have the stamina to go through it again, and would just probably play Jungle Beat as my next Donkey Kong game since that game was pretty much different in mechanics and playstyle. So I give this game a 7 out of 10. Pretty solid platformer, albeit repetitive. Would I suggest it to would-be trialists? Yes, at least experience it for yourself and see where Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze got its roots. If you lack the desire to finish it and would just like to know how the story ends, just watch this. On the next Retrobacks episode, it's about time I return to the Zelda franchise with something unique and a follow up to the Minish Cap. The Legend of Zelda Four Swords.
Don't forget to subscribe!